Good morning. Welcome to my show. Today is 4/4/2025. 4 plus 4 is 8. Plus 2 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. Plus 5 is 17. So that is the star card. A renewal of hope. Positive thinking. Your time to shine. The star card talks about an alignment in the universe. In tarot, it represents a time where the fool was just out of hope and he runs into a young woman naked in the wild, tending to a pond and the land, watering them both. It represents the card of healing, feeling renewed, like there is a positive light to guide you. And you have been through the works by the time you got here. Yesterday was the tower, which the tower represents kind of an ego death. It's like everything that you thought you believed or you thought you were had come crumbling down. So the fool is like walking now with this vulnerable state, like, who am I? And when he gets to the star card, that's when the lady in the star card tells him, now that you've been stripped from all that was false, you can begin a new light. Things are all in your favor. So the star card is our archetype of the day. Archetypes would be like the influences of your daily life, right? And the reason I do my readings like this is because it helps you deal with the day. Like, say if it was a challenge for the day, the archetype. Well, once you know about it in the morning, you can easily walk around. Some things you got to walk through, but at least you're prepared for it. Now you're ready for new hope. Seeing things for the better. Still a little question in your mind, but your overall energy is to trust the universe. 1 plus 7 equals 8, the strength card. The strength card represents being able to handle even chaotic situations with ease, calmness. It talks about a true strength and willpower doesn't come with ferocious energy. Very tame, very subtle. And she teaches the fool how to walk a little more gentler, handle things with calm, ease, and grace, showing your true character, your true strength. So today there's a lot of hope in the air. You might have healed from something, or you might have had some kind of realization yesterday that changed everything you believe. Today you're walking like, okay, I trust the universe. I'm gonna see how this turns out. And along the way, you might run into people who help you handle things with ease. 8th house energy is really about like your home life, like your true marriage partner, like some love situations. And let me see. I'm a little slow this morning. Haven't even finished my coffee. Houses. The basement. So your core values of things. obstacles, legacies, the occult, hidden things about you, mystery and destruction. On the shadow sides, it talks about disappointments, prosecutions, scandal, and psychology. And recommended practice for the 8th house is Tantra, which is more about breath work and connecting to a higher self to fill yourself with love, White Tantra. This is where I always hear, it's just my personal opinion, but when I hear twin flame stories, it reminds me of the female spirit guide that I've had forever. Like, that would be your true flame. Your higher self would probably be the opposite of who you are, since all things are opposite of what matter is, right? Hasatan, the opposite of spirit. It's not Satan, it's the opposite of spirit. Hasatan. The opposite of spirit is matter. So if we're matter and spirit would be opposite, naturally whoever you are in physical is the opposite in spirit. So connecting with your higher self, romanticize that you are in this love relationship with your spirit guide, your opposite higher self. That's the practice in Vedic astrology for the 8th house. So speaking of Vedic astrology, I was shuffling this deck again, and the gunas came out. The 3 gunas. And I do things randomly, you'll see in a minute. I don't pull cards. So we got the gunas in order. Fire, rajas, passion, sattvas, balance, goodness, tamas, decline or destruction, and death. Ignorance, not death, my bad. I'm going to read a little bit from this. Every person must have all 3 gunas within them in order to manifest in the realm of matter. In one sense, sleep is tamastic because it forces us to be unconscious. But in just the right amount of sleep is a healing force that is sattvic in effect. It is said that 5 or 6 hours of sleep at the right time of day is sattvic, good. Even 7 or 8 hours of sleep is rajasic, which would be growth, where your body grows. And 9 to 12 hours of sleep is tamastic, especially if you're sleeping during the day, unless you're recovering from a disease. In other words, everything we do, eat, touch, or associate with has a guna or some combination of the gunas. So, what this made me think of for our reading today is to maybe take a journal and write down what's growing in your life. Write down how you maintain that.
That said, in-person therapy can cost from $100 to $250.
Hang on, commercials.
That adds up. Online therapy can save you up to 50% per session on average. Because wellness should be affordable, not a luxury. With 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp has helped over 5 million people globally. Visit BetterHelp.com/pressplay for 10% off your first month of online therapy. BetterHelp.com/pressplay. Your mental health is worth it.
Funny that commercial come on. I don't like to speak during commercials or when there's too much talking going on in a room. I can't hear myself think, and it causes conflict in my thoughts. Anyways, this is part of my mental health routine. Just very simple. Wake up, sip coffee, see what the day is, the numbers, the archetypical energy. What house could we be affected by? I haven't looked at the charts today. I only look at charts during the day, each day. That way I stay right in the moment. So anyways, Rajas, write down what you're growing. Sattvas, write down how you can maintain the growth of that. And Tamas, write down what's not working for you anymore and you're ready to let go of. This is part of maintenance. This is part of general life maintenance. Keeping your life in balance. Everyone kind of lives in a sattvic energy. But we all experience things of passion and things of ignorance throughout the day. So staying in balance is being sattvic. Blowing up when a passion arises is destructive, tamas. But using passions that can create fire energy within you to make something grow, focus it into art, channel it into writing, grow a garden, literally grow a garden. These things help keep growth going in your life, balancing the life cycles. And then through the process of growth, just imagine trimming plants, right? You want to trim your plants so that they grow the best possible way, so they bear the most fruit, right? So natural tamas is removing what is hindering the growth. So try to stay in your sattvic energy. So I'm going to pull some cards here on what this has to say. We already know about the Star card. We got the High Priestess again. And the Strength card. High Priestess, Queen of Pentacles, reversed Four of Pentacles. High Priestess, Queen of Pentacles, inverted Four of Pentacles, Three of Wands. Let's see. You're getting an opportunity to see behind the veil, to help you appreciate what you do have in your physical life. So you're either going to let go of clinging on to situations, or you're in need of balancing your budget. And then step away for a moment and look at the comings and goings of your life. So High Priestess is in the growth position. You're learning some kind of knowledge, right? To help you interpret your intuitive callings, right? Your psychic behavior, your dreams, the unconscious mind. And this is the balance. It's helping you keep balance, right? This insight also leads to things beyond this world that are unexplainable. And that's where we get into this balanced energy. Take care of your home right now. Appreciate the value of your life. Home would be you, right? Your whole life. Appreciate what you do have and tend to your natural environment. Keep it fertile, calm, patient. Pentacles are all about calm, patient, steady energy so that you can live happier. Pleasure. Pentacles are also about pleasure. So with that, there is something you need to let go of. Queen of Pentacles and Four of Pentacles are in the balance position. When we appreciate our home, we're able to let go of things we were clinging to so that we can live a happier life. And in the Tamas position, step back for a moment. Have a grand overlook of your scenario, your interactions, your agriculture, prosperity, whatever you have for financial income. See it coming in balance, but it's in a Tamas situation. You're going to see ignorance in a situation or in a whole environment that you need to understand is destructive behavior. This could be you, or it could be some things you're passionate about, with the wands being passions. Okay, anything else from these cards? No. Let's pull some more. Okay, we've got Ace of Cups, inverted Knight of Pentacles, and the Dream card. Page of Pentacles. Okay, so what's growing in your life is renewal, purification, free spirit, the beginning of love. You might be in a new relationship. It might be going well for you. This is in the growth position with the High Priestess. With this, there is a hint that somebody has been watching you from a distance as you renewed your vessel, like you replenished your life. The Ace of Cups to me reminds me of like how I visualize Reiki healing on myself, self-Reiki. I visualize filling up my body, my cup, with prana, spirit energy, clean air, and allowing the goodness to come and overflow whatever was stagnant within me. And then once the goodness is overflowing, you can give to others. You never give to anybody when your cup is empty. It just wouldn't be right. You might have a teacher in the dark arts watching your beginning of renewal. But there's some things that need to be balanced. You're not taking your time. Knight of Pentacles reverse. You're not taking your time or focusing on where you plant your seeds. You're looking for quick growth, and the Dream card is suggesting you take a pause right now. Whoever you are. This is funny because this is going on in my life and so many others that I know. Let me give an example. You make a calendar, right? You set all your appointments, you set your health routines, your food routines, your grocery shopping, your bills, your outings, and your time alone. Everybody needs time to rest. That's just a fact. So this card does indicate with this card that you are not taking enough time to rest. So back to the story. You get your schedule all in line, right? And then let's just say
Twitch is back. That's because his wipers need replacing. But he went to AutoZone. Friendly AutoZoner guides him to the
So you have your life, your routine going. And then let's say you turn on Facebook and you have like invites to everywhere, right? Not only that, I don't know, whatever. You start having a flood of other influences, like, oh, I should go to this today, or I need to go to this today, or oh my God, that looks like fun. But you have the schedule. Impulse control. Learn to appreciate what you've got and learn to let go of the excess, because it's been keeping you rushing around, not resting enough, not following your intuition, what's growing, your dreams, your psychic abilities, your inner, internal health, meditation, yoga, tantra, if you will. And this is what's needed to be balanced in your life. On the decline, the ignorance is the Page of Pentacles. And what that tells me is like, it's okay to start small. A lot of times during people's renewal and their intuition, we tend to forget things like apprenticeship programs. I'll just go off of plumbing because it's something I know. And then this also has its place in alchemy, shamanism, apprenticeship. Start slow. Stick to the facts. You've only got so much coin to go around, so be observant where you place your energy. On the decline, this card is telling you to let go of any ignorance that makes you feel that you need to be 10 steps ahead of things. This is how we set up for failure. Remember, here on the Tamas, we have the Three of Wands, right? So step back for a moment. Step back, look at your life. Have a grand overview, right? So don't just look at your daily life, right? Look at your life, look at your bills, look at your food, look at your vehicles, look at your friends, your family, your loved ones, your romantic relationships, your passion projects. Look at how much time you're giving yourself to rest, because so far this spread is telling me you're not allowing yourself time to rest. And it's important to rest. We grow when we rest, remember? 6 to 8 or 7 to 8 hours of sleep promotes growth in the body. So remember to grow. Remember to take pause. Remember to be patient. Remember to know that as long as you're putting down one foot in front of the other, you'll get there. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, so the final row wants to talk in doubles. What do we have for Thomas? And so far, nope, okay, just 5 cards. Bottom of the deck is enlightenment. So this message will help you see something clearly. In your passions, you are being advised to not take all of these little offers of love. So this would be flirtation, because what's going on is very conniving and manipulating. Page of Cups, flirtation, Queen of Swords inverted, manipulation, lies, deceit, and hatred. So, this could be growing in your surroundings. This could be why you need to step back. There could be people who are interested in you or your partner that want to intervene and cause disruption, make you off of your path. Because when we get to the balance, we've got 3 of Pentacles inverted and 6 of Cups inverted. So, what's going on, what's growing in your situation is there may be others, individuals, that have specific feelings about you and your growth, your intuition, and they seek to disrupt it. They seek to spread lies, or they seek to cause anger and hostility, resentment. A woman scorned, right? Queen of Swords inverted is a woman scorned. What needs to be balanced is to stop working with anyone that brings back negative emotions that you went through in the past. This is the balance. This is how you keep things in order. So, what's growing? You're seeing mixed messages, and you're kind of already onto this. You figured this out already, right? There's individuals in your life arising that you know they don't mean good. They mean to disrupt, and they remind you of past influences that really caused your going within. 6 of Cups on the good side would be like rekindling youth, feelings of nostalgia, happy memories. 3 of Wands in the normal would be working with people who honor your work, your craft. But in the growth position with these 2 inverted, it's saying you need to stop working with people who bring these memories back. Memories of spiteful jealousness, anger, hostility, gossip. This gives me 5 of Swords, 5 of Wands energy, these 4 cards. 5 of Swords, people who like to stir shit up just for the sake of argument, just to have an ego that they created conflict. 5 of Wands, very jealous, passionate, combative energy. And what's in the Tamas position, right? Things to let go of. Take a step back. We saw that in the first card. Step back. Overlook your environment. Stick to the basics and the facts. Hello, Mother Nature. And it will bring the enlightenment that you need. You're a wise person. You're very wise. You have a lot of depth to you. You spent a lot of time on your own. One topic that we might be talking about on some podcasts is the journey. People today call it the healing journey, the dark night of the soul, the grand awakening. The breaking point in life, right? So, the only way to truly heal is isolation. Believe it or not, you are not your own being right now. Ever since the explosion of social media when it began on MySpace, and even long before that, let's say your entire life, you're born, right? If you're anywhere, if you're alive today, you were born with television, radio, phones, neighbors, living like really close to neighbors, newspapers, school, jobs, relatives. So, to help explain this, not being your own thoughts, think of life like this. Way back, we look way back to our ancestors in these ancient teachings, right? And we don't even understand their mind state. We have no concept on how their minds actually work. They didn't wake up to alarm clocks. They woke up to like the sun or roosters or whatever, right? They didn't have the radio, television, newspapers, things like this. They had to start a fire. They were out in quiet. There was no airplanes. So your whole life has been, you are a conglomerate of everyone you have ever experienced in your life. Every cartoon you've ever watched, every news channel you've ever heard, every song, influence, the people at school molded and created your style, your sense of style. They created your insecurities. They created your hostilities. Everything you are came from outward influence. And today we have it pouring in from everywhere. Not to mention, when you sleep now, we've got these, if you are psychic and intuitive, you're picking up Wi-Fi in your brain when you sleep. 5G, all that. If our brains are electronic energy, everything we see is a stimulus reaction of electrolysis, that's a different subject. Electro signals channeling in your brain, coming back out, mirroring your life. It's electricity, right? Wi-Fi is a digital, electrical, invisible current flowing through the air. Your home is a dome of your Wi-Fi, right? So even in your sleep, hello sisters, even in your sleep, you're being influenced. So the way to become back to this wise hermit is isolation. And it's not very easy. It's not very easy coming back into a society. You spend many years alone. I did. That's how I got what sanity I do have now back in order. Cutting out the cell phones, cutting out exterior influence, spending a lot of time. I remember during meditation years ago, I saw Shiva come to me, which again is an exterior influence, because it's like, who knows what Shiva is until somebody tells you, right? And then like, once you know what Shiva is, it starts appearing everywhere, right? Shiva, 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 Shiva. You want to buy a car, you see the car everywhere. Someone tells you about Shiva, you see Shiva everywhere. Anyways, in the meditation, he told me, if you can force yourself to be bored, on the other end is enlightenment. And I didn't get it at the time, but I'm like, you know what, fuck it. Everything I'm trying to do keeps going into negative outcome. So I'm gonna sit right here. And I rationalized it by this theory. When I'm walking in the woods and I've lost my way because the trees kind of all look the same, it's pointless to keep walking. So I sit down. I sit down to release the anxiety. I sit down to get my breath back under control. Then when I'm in a calm state of mind, you look up at the sky. Where's the sun? How has it moved, right? You allow the sun to move when you sit down if you're lost. The sun goes east to west in theory, but, depending on the time of year. but it'll help you get an idea of where you came from, right? So sit down, pause, let all that bullshit from life fade out of your brain. I'm not these thoughts. I'm not lost. I just wasn't paying attention when I came to this area. Now the only logical thing to do is to calm my mind, regain center, control my breathing, maybe drink some water, and think about how I got here. That's what the hermit does. You're like, okay, I know that if I go here today and do this same old routine, it's going to just have the same old outcome. Insanity is the fact that you are walking into the same wall repeatedly, expecting the wall to open a door, right? You continue doing the things that do not get anywhere and are just blockages. So you take that time away from her. You're like, you know what? This is redundant. I'm getting nowhere. I need to find my hermit time to remember who I am within. Wisdom, silence, gentle nature as well, just like the strength card. So in an overview of your reading, what's growing in your life, both positive and negative, is a higher knowledge of things beyond understanding, and it's renewing who you are. But there are some things growing around you that goes back to the high priestess with being watched from a distance by somebody who has jealous intuition, okay? This doesn't, I don't like doing readings like that. I don't like saying the word jealous, because all jealousy is like, let's, for instance, I know how to read tarot, right? All jealousy is somebody who wants to read tarot. And they're like, fuck, why do I not like that guy? But he reads the cards, right? So it's not a real emotion. It's a mind thing. All the person that's jealous, that's watching you from afar during your growth and renewal, is they just don't believe that they're also capable of this, right? So they're being a little spiteful. They like to be manipulative, but that's okay. In your case, keep doing what you're doing, because you are inspiring that person. Don't go out and go, oh my God, somebody's jealous of me and I need to blah, 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 blah. That's ridiculousness. Somebody's jealous of you and you're aware of it, offer some help, subtly. You know they're jealous, somehow be like, hey, this book really taught me a lot about tarot. Would you like it? If they don't accept the gift and they're still spiteful, then fuck it. Cut your losses, walk away. Let them watch from afar, keep growing. What's balancing in your life? You can actually appreciate your life. You tend a good, genuine peace and tranquility in all that you do. Your home life seems to be very special to you. Commercials are mass influence, hypnosis. Anyways, so you appreciate your home, so you can let go of being greedy. Like, okay, being greedy with the Four of Pentacles inverted is like this. I have plenty, but I want that too. even though that comes with all of this negativity, right? Nah, let go of that. I don't need the negativity because I can live simpler and be appreciative of my life. I notice that I'm not resting enough. This is what needs balance in your life. When I'm not rested, I'm cranky, I'm irritable. Even if I'm not projecting that onto others, that irritation is energy, right? So it sends out into the universe. It could keep you from working with good people who rekindle youth in you. So for now, get some rest and stop working with people who bring up negative emotions. That's your balance for today. And on the decline, the transformation of this situation is step back from your environment for a moment. Do a very detailed log of what's working, what's returning energy. This could be like you have those people in your life that are positive and grateful for you in their life, right? So you keep a harmonious synergy of energy. You know that if you dedicate some time to them, then when you're ever in need, it's harmonious, right? And then you have people that pull on your energy, right? They're like, I need this from you, but there's never any reciprocation, right? So step back. The only way to see that is to step back, right? Once you step back, you'll realize that some of these engagements are hostile. The moment you pull back your energy, spiteful, jealous, bringing up ugly memories, and interrupting things that you're working with others on, where you're prospering, they don't want to see that, right? So they want to take that down. Once you see this, you can let go. The moon just sent the notifications. Emotions come and go, right? So once you see what's going on, start putting your energy in smaller places, sticking to facts and following a guideline. Prove your worth to yourself, in other words. And then with your isolation comes wisdom. The hermit is also looking down on a valley from a high mountaintop, right? This person is looking down from a valley or from a cove, on a cove or a bay, from a distance, from a distance, from a distance, from a distance. The message today for you is take some time to overlook your life. Get plenty of rest. Appreciate what you got and let go of the things that are keeping you in negative energy. And then that's where you will see true enlightenment. The hangman inverted, he's already taken the time out to see from everyone's perspective, right? And when you see from everyone's perspective, sometimes you see not everyone is your friend. There's actually stingful, negative engagements that bring back past traumas. So be wise. Take your time alone. So he's seen through other people's eyes, and now he's like, I've got it. I get it. I'm enlightened on this situation. You'll never be enlightened on the full depth of life, because enlightenment is just learning something new. That's all it means. I did not know the alphabet until somebody enlightened me to teach me the alphabet. I did not know tarot until somebody enlightened me to teach me tarot, etc., right? Enlightenment is an ever unfolding thing. So it's not the end of the road. So anyways, that's your reading for today, and I'm going to cut this off at 44. Thank you for tuning in, and I will be back later.